All right, we're live.
Fucking beautiful, man.
Cool. All right, y'all. So today we are making tea-infused cocktails, which I am super excited about. Steven is getting the ingredients that we need ready right now. We have a few cocktails already kind of thought of that we're going to run in the beginning, and then the last two cocktails we're going to improvise on the spot. Let's see. Cool. So the first cocktail we're doing is a Matcha Sour, which is it's a classic whiskey sour, but matcha infused, right?
Yeah, so what you have is a sour variation. So you can do a sour. Whiskey sours are probably one of the most popular. However, you can do any spirit you want. It's really spirit, citrus, and sugar. All right, I got a couple huevos. Let's see. I need glasses.
All right, so we got the matcha sour, and then we are using a Bug-Bitten black tea, which is called Champagne Black, also known as Oriental Beauty, or basically on my website I call it Professor's Pick, but it is a Bug-Bitten black tea, and I'll get more into what that actually means as we're making the cocktail. But so matcha sour, we got a Bug-Bitten black tea. What are we doing with that one?
The Professor's Pick. I say we go for like an old fashioned
variation on the Professor's Pick. Then we're moving into ripe Puer. So we're using Puer, and then we're thinking sweet vermouth service on the ripe Puer.
On the Puer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be kind of something we gotta figure out as we go. We're just gonna play a little jazz with that.
Cool. But and then let's see. So we got that, and then we got a white tea, an aged Moonlight white tea cake that we're gonna kind of do on the fly, and then we're gonna finish off with the duck shit oolong. So we're gonna do totally improvise on the duck shit, and we're gonna taste it on the spot, see what we feel, and then start mixing up things. You can't see this in the frame, but there's a big cart with all of Steven's different spirits. We got basically everything you would need to whip up a fantastic cocktail right next to us. So
you can never have enough.
That's true. And then we have 5 different teas right here. We have Moonlight white tea, the Champagne Black, the ripe Puer, the matcha, and the duck shit oolong tea. So we're going to use all these to make 5 different completely unique tea-infused cocktails. So I am stoked right now. I'm excited because it is happy hour.
Dude, you haven't had the Matcha Sour yet. So this is going to be... I'm excited for the both of us.
Yeah, this is actually the first time I'm going to be having a lot of these tea-infused cocktails. I send Steven tea samples in the mail all the time, and I'm just like, and we'll kind of FaceTime and like try out experiments, and kind of just brainstorm on the phone, but I've never actually tasted a lot of these creations that he's made in the past. So
they look beautiful, but they taste like shit for the most part. No, I'm kidding.
All right. Oh my god.
All right, so I just put, dude, I feel like I'm bartending in a box right now.
I know, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Wow, so I'm starting.
Do you want me to? Here, I can move this out a little bit.
No, this is fine. I like the challenge.
Yeah, that'll give you a little bit more space. That's fine. Everything's still in the frame there.
All right, so what I did is I started out with egg whites, and that's going to be emulsifier, so it's going to change up the texture a little bit. Bring some, like, once you aerate the egg whites, it whips it up. Brings like a little bit of a body, but a frothy texture. That's so inviting. Love it. Gets you ready for that next sip. Makes you smile when you put it up.
Egg whites, that's an essential piece of the sour, right? What are the
components?
Not. Okay.
Originally it was not, and then through time it kind of became that way.
All right.
Everything just started to change, but a traditional sour. I mean, sours came about originally like back in Prohibition when like it was just like absolute butt water liquor. And they just needed shit to make it taste good. Nice. Just because it was such trash. So they would do just like lemons, a shitload of sugar, and just to make anything taste better. But then through time, people got a little more elegant. People got civilized.
Wait, so you just threw Roku Gin in here, right?
Yeah, so I did egg whites, lemon juice, because can't get yuzu. I did Roku Gin, which is a product of Suntory. And Suntory is like one of the more renowned distillers out of probably the most renowned distillery out of Japan. So they're known for like Hibiki, Toki, Yamazaki. They make like Haku vodka, Roku gin. And basically the Japanese pride themselves on using like high elevation water because you know what water is the component for distillation.
Yeah, right.
So when they distill it, they really pride themselves on using that high elevation water, really clean, elegant, light.
Nice.
All right. So I didn't put the matcha syrup.
This is the matcha syrup, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we prepped this ahead of time for the other cocktails. We're going to be doing the tea here on the spot, but we prepped this ahead of time. Basically, we used probably quite a bit of matcha, probably 5 to 10 grams of matcha. And then instead of whisking it into water, we whisked it directly into coconut water.
Yeah.
Coconut water. We threw that on the stove in a pan, heated it up, then used the whisked it together, and then we have this right here. So that's going to be our matcha base.
Yeah, the coconut there, it was a pressed coconut water, so it's super potent coconut flavor. And that kind of is going to help, I guess, bring subtlety to any astringency or bitterness you can get from matcha. So that's what I really like about it. And it's just another layer of flavor. And matcha was like one of the first teas that you sent me that I was like intrigued to make a cocktail with because, I mean, we're in a time where espresso martinis just fly.
Sure.
Everyone fucking loves them.
Yeah.
And my theory behind that is, which I have no science to back this up, but we have a generation of Four Loko drinkers that are now of age to go into the bar.
It's true.
It's a mix of stimulants and alcohol. It's only a good time. So when
Go ahead.
when I saw the matcha, I was like, all right, let's make something a little cleaner, kind of like an espresso martini. We want the stimulants. We want the alcohol.
Yep.
So yeah, this was just perfect. This is a lot lighter. Like I would pound this like day drinking.
Yeah.
So I used sake. You saw me use sake and gin. Sake is going to be a low ABV. So if you do end up darting, like just getting hammered in the sun, and that's just like any sake. I didn't get a good one. Honestly, I said, I'm going to take your cheapest bottle. Mm-hmm. Once you're going to mask it with like citrus and everything, you're really not looking for crazy quality. But in the instance you want to bump up the ABV a little bit, nice sochu. Nice. You can find sochus anywhere from like 25% all the way to like 50% alcohol. So cool. If you want to bump up the ABV, that's going to help bump it up a little bit. I'm going to step out of the camera though to shake this.
Right,
so
I'm gonna tilt it so we can.
No, don't. Okay. I'm shy. I'm bashful. But the sours I do 3 shakes with my sours.
3 shakes with the sours.
3 shakes. So you do it dry shake. Dry shake is 1, no ice. So you saw me just put all the ingredients in, close it. Yep. And when you're doing this, it's whipping up those egg whites in there.
Okay.
And so this is what's going to give it body. We're going to add ice, drop the temperature. And then I do one last, usually called a whip shake. I don't think I'm going to do that today.
Okay. Yeah, I want to kind of elaborate on what you were just mentioning, which is the generation of Four Lokos drinkers, which me and Steve were talking about, like in creation of these tea-infused cocktails. We were kind of talking about how nowadays with the espresso martini being so common that people want caffeine, some form of caffeinated beverage with their alcohol, right? And like people like an energizing cocktail, you know?
I want to drink and I want to be alive.
Yeah, they want to drink and they want to feel energized as well. So tea is really a variation of that concept, of the Four Loko, of the espresso martini, right? But what's kind of different about the tea concept is that tea is healthy, right? Unlike Four Lokos, which is basically probably the least healthy thing you can put in your body.
What's your source, bro? What's your source?
I don't have a source on that. I'm just going off the cup.
Four Lokos do not benefit my health.
But with tea, you're getting that energy and that caffeine in your cocktail, but you're also getting a lot of antioxidants from the tea. And that obviously is going to combat some of the damage that is going to be going on in the body as a result of drinking alcohol, right? And, you know, there's another popular trend in cocktails now, which is kind of more healthy cocktails, healthier drinks. That's what I think is behind the whole seltzer revolution going on right now. People don't want like a really sugary, like alcoholic beverage with all these other ingredients. They just want clean, light, spritzy seltzer. You know, just the alcohol and not much else. And that's kind of also the essence of tea-infused cocktail.
Dude,
it's healthy, light, caffeinated. It's everything that you would want in a cocktail.
It's kind of a joke in the industry to be like not too sweet. Like I'll have a martini, not too sweet. Because the amount of people that say, I like my drinks not too sweet. It's like, yeah, well, no shit. Like no one,
right.
No one's like, yeah, I just want an absolute sugar bomb in my mouth right now before I go out.
Right. Melt the candy cane into my cocktail.
Yeah, please. Yeah, so I mean, overall, like, I like tea because tea reminded me of tasting wine a lot. As bartender, when you're creating cocktail, the three things you're going to balance are going to be sugar, acid, and alcohol.
Sugar, acid, alcohol. Those are the three things that you're balancing.
Those are the three things you're balancing when you're making a cocktail.
Interesting.
And so if you do have sugar, it should be balanced out. I mean, you can use stuff like spices, stuff like that to balance out any sugar. All right, this might get a little sloppy.
That's why we got the tea table.
Dude, that color is gorgeous.
Wow. And that matcha is really kind of coming through. That's like an emerald green.
Yeah, you're going to see the head start to settle a little bit.
Wow, so that's the egg white whipped in with the matcha. That's all that foam there. Huh?
Yeah, and so egg whites work as an emulsifier. I think in a lot of places like California, I've been like trying to put together drinks for the menu there. That the company I work for, we're opening up a location in LA, and I've been trying to find like cocktails that'd be good for that scene. And a lot of them are against like animal products. So you can use like chickpea juice, which I think has a really gross flavor. So I try not to use it, but you could also use like burrata water, which is still a dairy product, but I think people have like less heart towards it.
By the way, Steven is a bartender at Dante, which is one of the most highly rated bars in the world, and definitely in New York City. And so if you're ever in New York, pop into Dante. They make some fantastic cocktails. Hey, Quinn,
espresso martinis.
Chat.
Who dat? Oh man,
hi buddy Quinn, just commenting.
Dude,
he's skipping. Oh, your secret's safe with me, bud. He said, "Don't tell." Yeah, whatever.
You're good. Don't say it. You're good. Don't say it, bro. All right, so you can see that nice frothiness on top. It starts to slowly go up. The green is a little less vibrant than last time I did. I think we used more matcha.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just more energy, man. That's the only way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I went heavy with the matcha.
Yeah, I think if we went a little lighter, I mean, we're not selling it in a restaurant, but like if we...
that's so cool. The foam is really just slowly...
Yeah, it slowly settles up. So basically, these are a bunch of molecules that just get fucking scattered and just obliterated everywhere. It's like a bomb went off.
That's the emulsification, right?
That's all the ingredients. Anytime you use natural ingredients, they separate naturally. So if you open up like a jar of peanut butter, all the oils at the top there, it's because it's natural ingredients. It all separates naturally. It's different densities, everything like that. And so what this is what you took natural ingredients and you shook them all up together, and so they just scattered. And so they slowly form to start to layer themselves. And so that's kind of what happens there. The air starts to release, and then you get a nice solid top. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take roasted black sesame.
Roasted black sesame.
Yeah, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm a big fan of when the garnish complements the flavor. So the roasted black sesame adds a little bit more depth. They kind of get stuck in your teeth, but you know, it's like you're drinking red wine, makes your teeth red. You just wear it proud.
Wear it proud.
Wear it loud, wear it proud, man.
So the sesame is going to be what aspect of the sour is kind of complemented by the sesame in terms of flavor?
It's more along the lines of like the gin, the sake, and the matcha. This plays extremely well off all those.
Oh, so it's a bit of a floral kind of bright thing going on.
This? Well, this is going to balance the floral.
I see. So
yeah. So anytime you have like floral, citrus, bright, you don't really want to keep adding floral, citrus, and bright. It's just going to like cloud that flavor profile. What you want to do is you want to find a contrast in the flavor. So if there is something that's, like I was saying, if you have something sweet, you want to add something that's going to be bitter. You want to add something that's going to be like maybe higher alcohol. You want to add something that's high acid. Anything that's going to balance that. So if you keep layering, like you don't want to add like more smoke into scotch. You want to add more smoke into mezcal. It's just like it's already packs that flavor. That's that flavor. So you want to find something that's going to balance it. All right, man.
Is that it?
Yeah, bro. Let's drink it.
Love that. Cheers, dude.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Whoa.
Yeah, tell me that you just don't want to get loaded off that.
Oh my God.
I like it because right when your lips hit, it, like I said, it's that soft, inviting texture, and texture is just
inviting texture. It really is an inviting texture.
Dude, I use that term over and over again when there's like frothiness, fluffiness, anything like that. It's really inviting texture because as soon as you dive your lips in, it's just like, fuck yeah. And then, well, that was a little weird, but except the first flavor you get is that roasted black sesame. And then it's kind of washed behind by those super bright flavors from the lemon juice.
I get the sesame. The sesame makes perfect sense now.
Yeah, so you see how it cuts that bright acid?
It reminds me of like if you have a lemon muffin or
like a poppy seed muffin.
Poppy seed on the top, and the poppy seeds and the lemon contrast each other perfectly. That's exactly what I'm getting with this right now.
Correct. Spot on, man.
Love this.
Dude, I could go for
10 more of these.
I know, dude. These by poolside. Next question.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is a great daytime drink.
Yeah.
That brightness from the citrus.
Yeah.
That's like, I want to drink this in the sun.
That's how I feel about most sours. That's why I like pound margaritas in the sun, anything like that. It's got that high acid, that lime juice, super refreshing. But yeah, this, like I said, it's low ABV and it's got caffeine in it. So this is something you can just drink and drink and drink and drink.
And you get the sour. That degree of sourness is perfect. I feel like you nailed it. It really is like sour. I mean, it's called a matcha sour. Right?
It's on the back end.
Sour,
yeah, it's lemon, so it's almost like the last thing to
It's like
finish.
a bold. It's an assertive sourness. It's like a bold sour. It's like it is sour, but it's not at all.
It's not overbearing. It's balanced.
Not overbearing. It's perfectly balanced.
Yeah, I think kind of ending on that bright acid, you can feel like the bottom of. So acidity, for anyone that doesn't know, like I think we're speaking to a lot of people on levels of intelligence here.
Yeah.
So for anyone
levels of knowledge about cocktails.
Yeah, I should say intelligence. Very belittling. Level of knowledge on cocktails and tasting everything like that. So acidity is like when you start salivating underneath your tongue. So if you ever bite into a lemon and you get all that saliva built up underneath your tongue, that's what that is. And so when I was talking about tasting wine and tea, with wine and tea, you have tannin. And so tannin is that dryness. You ever sip into a red wine, it kind of like curls your lips.
Yeah, it dries out the mouth.
And that's dryness on top of your tongue. So tannin is dryness on top of your tongue, whereas acid is salivating underneath your tongue. And you know that balances each other.
And I feel like umami is salivation on the sides of the tongue a little bit. Like when I drink a really savory tea, like I get activation on the sides of the tongue, mouth watering kind of.
That could be mild acidity too. Like there is like mild acidity in a lot of those products.
Well, I know from tea science, the amino acids in tea are what bring the savory components in. I mean, in the name, it's an amino acid. It's not only savory, but it's also sour because it's
absolutely.
So a lot of amino acids are both savory and sour, like together. They provide both of those taste components.
Absolutely.
And those are really abundant in matcha.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so much earthiness to it.
Yeah. And there definitely is that savory sourness coming from the matcha to a certain degree too.
Absolutely. And anyone that doesn't know, umami is a flavor profile that was it picked up by Japan? I need to double check. But
yeah, they kind of discovered umami. Umami is a Japanese word.
Okay. Yeah. So it's basically like earthiness or savoriness. It's like mushrooms. Like that is like another flavor profile.
And people who have seen some of Wu Mountain Tea's videos about tea flavor and stuff are pretty familiar with umami. That's like one of the most critical taste elements in tea, especially green tea, especially matcha. If you're looking at quality in matcha, you're basically balancing. It's a balance between how much umami are you bringing versus how much bitterness and astringency are you getting from the tannins. And all tea leaves carry a lot of tannins, right? That's kind of the nature of the tea leaf. It's bitter and tannic, but only the good leaves will have that umami, savory, sweet component to counterbalance that bitterness.
With tea, is there a way to control the tannin?
Yeah, well, when you infuse it, there is. So the tannins come out at really high temperatures and for long infusion times. That's why it's nice with the Gaiwan. You do short infusions.
Yeah.
So
I noticed when you steep it more, it gets more astringent and you get more tannin.
Exactly.
But I didn't know if when it comes to the picking process.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Is there a way to like kind of, I guess, know and like get less tannin, more tannin through the picking process?
That's a perfect question, because the key thing with matcha, right, is before you harvest the matcha, you put shade over the tea plants. You literally put a black tarp, and it's a little bit see-through, so it's not completely black, but it's mostly a dark tarp. You shade the tea plants for about a week or two before you pluck, and that decreases the bitterness and decreases all the tannins in the tea leaves.
Okay.
And brings up the umami compounds.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the key step in creating matcha.
The key.
The key.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah.
The key.
Yeah.
The penthouse.
So, yeah, right. So like you can change or lower tannin level through shading.
Is there like X amount of time? Like is it like weed plants where you got to do like 12 hours in sunlight, 12 hours in?
It's still active area research, but generally, like if you just put shade over the tea plants for, usually it'll be a couple weeks prior to harvest, then that's going to give you the maximum benefits. And there's still studies now where they're using various degrees of darkness with the shading. Like some will be completely 100% black, some will be 50, some will be only 20%. Where it's so they're still playing with how much light you can let through to optimize, because you're sacrificing growth of the tea plant. Like when you're not letting
if it's not gonna let us get sunlight,
right, you're cutting off its energy source.
That makes sense.
Yep. So you can play around with that, and then with tea, also the first harvest of the year in spring will be the least tannins and the most umami, and then towards summer, the second and third harvest.
You said earlier is least tannin, more umami.
Yeah.
Okay, so as it grows, so yeah, that makes sense, because you said you're like kind of like prolonging the process.
Yeah,
to raise the umami flavor and
exactly. Okay. And the tannins are just a response to sunlight, because the tannins are like, it's protection against like the sunlight in tea plants.
Okay.
It's like a natural sunscreen that the tea plants produce.
It's very similar to wine. So wine gets its tannin from skin contact and stems in fermentation. So the more skin contact and stems in fermentation, the more tannin that the wines get. So if you look at like a rosé versus a Cabernet, and then maybe in the middle you can put a Pinot Noir. I think those are three very recognizable wines. So maybe people, kind of grasp that a little bit better. But you have rosé, which has mild skin contact. It's just got that blush.
What do you mean by skin contact?
So leaving the skins and stems in for fermentation.
I see.
So most wines, what you're doing is like white wines, it's just the inside that's going to be fermenting. And so then you have, if you leave like skins on, it's going to turn to an orange wine. It's going to have more tannin, maybe a little bit more body. But for red wines, I think this is where it's most prominent. You have like rosé, which has that really blush pink color. They have like just a little bit of skin contact in the fermentation. So they leave just a little bit of skin on. You have a Pinot Noir, which is more tannic, maybe a little more body, and that has a little more skin contact in there. And then you have your Cabernet, which is super big, heavy, and that has a shitload of stems in the fermentation. So that's going to be more tannic. So it all depends on skin contact and stems. So I didn't know if there was a similar. I was trying to build a bridge and connect it.
No, it's totally connected, because the compounds in the plants that are the tannins in the plants, they do the same thing in grapes that they do in tea plants. Like these tannins, the plants produce these to protect themselves from the sun, right? So it's the same compound that different plants produce for the same reason, which is kind of cool.
I'm sorry, my ADD kicked in. I can't get over how much I love that contrast. So
cheers.
I feel like after my palate's gotten used to that acidity, I can taste the matcha more. And it still plays at a very, like it's still balanced all across the board. But just the way I think that the black sesame is definitely the key component there to like kind of bring everything together.
All right, hold on. Quinn's chirping in here. Glutamic acid, that's exactly what we're talking about. Primary savory compounds, first cited by Japanese scientists. Led to the concept of savory. Yep. Great job. That's spot on, Quinn. He's doing the research about
Who's the guy in Joe Rogan podcast that just researches everything?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Quinn is the voluntary that guy.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
I don't know you, Quinn, but I appreciate you too.
Should we down it?
Yeah, man, that was really hard not to just chug. I could have easily done that. All right.
Should we start the next cocktail?
I think we have no choice.
I think we have no choice.
All right, so we're gonna do an old fashioned.
Old fashioned. I like chewing on those.
It's fun,
seeds.
right? Yeah, it's part of the experience. Shit, what was I gonna say? This is one that we haven't made yet. We came up with the concept a couple hours ago, right?
Yeah.
Ran to the store, grabbed ingredients, and just all right, we're going for it.
Yep. So, all right. So this black tea that we're using for this old fashioned, it's called Champagne Black. It's also called Oriental Beauty. It is what's called a Bug-Bitten tea. So basically, prior to harvesting the tea leaves, you allow these small leafhopper insects to lightly infest the tea field, right? You allow these leafhoppers to come in, settle on the tea plants, and bite them. And the tea plant has an extremely specific biochemical response to being bitten by this particular type of insect. And then after you harvest the tea plants, after they've been bitten by this insect, then you can make tea from that freshly bug-bitten tea plant, those tea leaves, and then and then you can take those leaves, turn it into black tea, and that's Bug-Bitten black tea. It's and basically as part of the response of the tea plant to all these stresses, right? Whether it's sun stress, UV stress, drought stress, physical wounding stress, or stress from being bitten by a bug, there's distinct biochemical responses, and usually plants respond by creating different aroma characteristics. So, like if you smelled freshly cut grass, for example, that is the smell of that blade of grass responding biochemically to a wounding stress of being sliced in half by a lawnmower propeller.
That's actually very similar to a lot of cocktails too. I was, if you ever have mint as a garnish or something, you always want to smack it.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a defense mechanism. Plants put out oils and scents and everything for pollination and protection. And so when they like mint and basil, when a bug lands on it to start eating it, it gives off that super potent smell. And so that's what you want to do. You want to irritate it, and it doesn't take much, almost like rainfall.
Yeah, the plants
smashes.
I mean, plants are the chemists of the world. I mean, the plants are able to produce so many incredible, unique compounds. And since plants can't move, they don't have legs, they can't run, they're basically relying on creating and emitting these aroma compounds to carry out all of their basic functions for life. So like Steven said pollination and protection, they're communicating all types of things to each other, repelling insects, fighting stresses. So anyway, all of this little talk about plant stress is to kind of come back to the fact that when these leafhoppers bite the tea plant, they create a really specific. Are you hammering ice cubes?
Yeah, bro.
Oh my god!
I was seeing how long you could talk before you said anything.
It's a legitimate hammer. Dude.
I know, dude.
Where did you get that hammer?
My ex-girlfriend left it here.
Oh
Shout
my
out to my ex-girlfriend for the hammer.
Wow. All right. Why did she have a hammer here to begin with? We don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I want to know.
I don't want to talk about my travel.
Okay. All right. We'll leave that for the next live.
I'm just kidding, man. Don't kink shame me.
Okay. All right.
I forgot the oranges.
So anyway, this bug-bitten black tea, the new profile that's created by being bitten by bugs is like extremely fruity. It takes on this whole new stone fruit, peach, nectarine, apricot profile. So I mean, this is Steven's favorite one to play with and make cocktails with. When he tried this, he was like, actually, I have some here. I'll brew some tea right now. You tried it and you're like, I could do anything with this.
Yeah. Instantly, I think I had like 4 concepts right away written down. It was like I tasted it and just the evolution of the flavor, the diversity behind it, just fucking so easy to work with. But when we had it today, like I said, we thought of this cocktail. Maybe like a couple hours ago.
Yep.
I woke up at like 2:30ish, and yeah, we kind of just started tea tasting right away and just came up with this. And so when I had it, I like that it had a natural sweetness to it, and so that kind of plays into what we were talking about earlier, like people requesting low sugar drinks. This already had like natural sweetness to it, so I really didn't add that much. But it had really bright stone fruit flavors, which that drew me right away. Apricot, nectarine, peach, like just really, really bright flavors there. So I went with a rum distillate. We're going to use Bacardi 8, and then we're going to go with like an old-fashioned variation. I think I forgot to clean my jug though.
8 with the old-fashioned variation.
Bacardi Old Joe. It doesn't really matter what, I mean, here, let me get into it in a second.
Yeah, so we were talking about that today when we were creating this this cocktail. We were saying with nice teas, you have a pretty solid degree of sweetness that's coming from the tea itself. And that kind of decreases how much sugar you need to add into the cocktail, right? It was sugar, acid, what's
sugar, acid, alcohol.
Alcohol, right?
Yeah.
In a cocktail. And if you bring a lot of sweetness from the tea, then you can really you can dial down the extra sugar for other sugar-based things you add.
So a typical syrup is 1-to-1 ratio. You have 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and that's your syrup. That's a usual ratio. With this, because it had so much natural sweetness, I did like a 1-to-4 ratio. I added a little bit of brown sugar, just add a hint of molasses to kind of play off the stone fruit, and as well as the rum. But I said Bacardi 8 rum. I honestly don't give a shit about brands. Use whatever brand you enjoy most. Most recipe books, and this is like really discouraging for a lot of new bartenders, I think, because they read these recipe books thinking they have to get that specific brand the book says. Absolutely not. It's all paid advertising. My favorite recipes to read are like different guides from like the 90s, like where they just don't give a shit about advertising, and it'll just say like daiquiri, 2 ounce rum.
Right.
1 ounce lime, 1 ounce simple syrup. Boom, that's it. It doesn't show you the name. And that kind of, I think it draws you to be more creative. So you start using different rums that you like and kind of figure something out.
Oh, is that a thing? Like nowadays for bartending recipes, they're doing name brand stuff. They're
doing name brand stuff because it's all paid, man. They got kids to feed.
It's all paid, right.
All right, so what I did is I did the Professor's Black syrup, which, like I said, I did a 1-4 ratio with brown sugar. Just add that molasses funk in there.
Wait. So you steeped. I remember. So basically, I steeped 2 gaiwans of Professor's Pick black tea into here, and I gave it to you.
Yes.
And then you said 1 to 4 parts. So it's 4 parts tea.
Yeah, 4 parts tea. 1 part of those 4 parts is.
And 1 part of that is
a quarter of it is sugar. Yeah,
okay.
I added just a little bit more because I'm gonna be adding bitters, so that astringency is gonna kind of take out
brown sugar. Is the brown sugar?
I use brown sugar, and so I'm using tobacco bitters, which is gonna be
bitters.
Yeah, bro. So these are tobacco bitters here.
Here, I'll let you do your thing. Tobacco bitters. Huh.
Yeah, and so I thought this was gonna be kind of cool. Growing up, we'd go down to Florida every now and then. I'm gonna do 4. That way, 2 dashes each. And that like southern heat, it always reminds me of like peaches, tobacco, like all those bright flavors. And the mild tannin, that dryness, kind of reminds me of like the heat down there too. And so I was thinking the old fashioned is gonna be fucking awesome to make. So it's gonna have that tobacco, stone fruit, a little bit of tannin behind it, a little bit of molasses. Just
this is a Florida Georgia inspired cocktail. We got the heavy. I really wish that you could smell the aroma from this tea because it is like that.
just as planned.
The degree of stone fruit that's brought by the Bug-Bitten tea, it's really remarkable. Like it's like you wouldn't really believe it, but you have a ton of stone fruit, peach specifically from the tea, and then we have tobacco bitters. We have like a warm kind of rum, right? And it reminds me, it's like a lot of these components of Georgia, Florida, kind of like a warm summer's night.
Yeah.
You know, a little southern tobacco, a little southern Georgia peach,
A little Georgia peach.
some citrus, some Florida oranges.
Dude, that's someone from New York. Those are the memories that I get from that. So
Yeah.
fucking dry heat, all that stuff. All right, baby.
Make sure you're not smashing ice onto my computer. A little bit. All right, I think we're good.
Oh shit.
We'll stir. This is my contribution.
Oh no, don't stir more.
Oh,
Let it sit.
Sorry.
Control the dilution. So the cocktail's gonna sit in that water for about like a minute. I think it's 100. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's 130 seconds without changing.
What happens after 130 seconds?
Temperature and dilution? Then it can start to dilute a little bit more. But if you just there's a lot of people that'll be like, oh, you can't let it sit in ice. It's not gonna really do anything. It's really not.
Oh, you have like a couple minutes before it starts to dilute.
Yeah, before it actually starts to dilute. So yeah, it's fine. I think it's 100. I think 130 seconds, maybe 130, 190 seconds before temperature and dilution actually start to change. But otherwise, you can pretty much just let it sit there. They've done studies to show the difference, and there's been like no difference. Same thing with like pouring ice in your stir first or in your shaker first versus putting the ingredients in and then ice. There's no difference in dilution. Yeah, a lot of people are keen on it. Some people believe it. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever you're comfortable with. But science shows otherwise.
I see.
All right. Here
So
we have
on the next cocktail, I'm actually going to be starting to brew tea. So if you're sitting there wondering why I'm not doing anything and Steven's running around doing all the work here, it's because these front two cocktails, we had to prep the tea ahead of time. So
I'm just a good friend, man.
And he's a good friend, and I'm
Just
a lazy.
Good friend.
I'm a lazy tea drinking scoundrel.
All right.
Wow.
Right away, I could taste I went
Goodness.
overboard with the bitters. They were a lot more potent than I thought.
Okay.
But it's still not bad. So the next round, I would literally just cut down the bitters to maybe 2 big dashes. That's another thing with bitters. It's hard to measure. But yeah. Cheers,
dude.
Okay, that's not bad. It's old fashioned, so you gotta taste the alcohol.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
actually, it's very fucking.
That was my
mild.
first thought when I sipped it. I was like, okay, strong on the alcohol.
Yeah, it's an old fashioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, I would actually put Professor Black tea in there, not the syrup, but the
Let's
tea.
try it. Let's
Yeah,
try
the
it.
tea itself. I think adding the tannin is actually gonna make it way better, a little more complex.
All right, we're gonna try that because we still got leaves in the gaiwan here.
Yeah, so I love batching cocktails, and this is actually something I wanted to touch on. Batching cocktails. Anytime you shake a drink, you stir a drink, you're adding dilution, and so that means water is going to go into there. So if you ever batch a cocktail, you always want to add water for dilution to compensate for dilution. And so tea is essentially flavored water. You could add tea in there for dilution, and that's going to help add more complexity. I've done cocktails where I had I did a Negroni variation where I had tomato and basil water for dilution. So I took tomatoes, basil, salt, blended it up, strained it out, and used that water for dilution in the cocktail instead of just traditional water.
Interesting.
Then you can throw it in your freezer, let it sit, and then when you're ready to drink it, you pour it over ice, and it's good.
Right. So maybe if we're talking tea infused cocktails, maybe if you need a dilution, you could do a less heavy steep of tea to make it more diluted. Or you could, I guess if it was a really strong brew of tea, it would still dilute it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ingredient. It's a component that's going in your cocktail. So like, really, I think that is like situational on the cocktail. How much you want in that, how much tannin you want, all that kind of stuff. But either way, I think just brewing like a proper cup of tea and just adding it in there. But yeah, it would be dependent on what flavors you need to break through, what flavors you got to balance, everything like that. But no, it's a beautiful ingredient. It's a flavored water, and water is a huge component in cocktails. I think one of the most under thought about ingredients in cocktails. No one thinks about water. No one thinks about the ice. And
that's what you're saying about the Japanese style.
Yeah,
making.
And that's from like the ground floor. That's from distillation that they do that. And so when it comes to creating cocktails, I love a lot of Japanese cocktails because they keep that consistency of being elegant and crisp and clean and light. And that's typically where my palate goes towards.
Nice. All right, so let's try to add a dash of this professor's pick.
Yeah, let's do this here.
Champagne black.
Hold on, let me do this. Here, I have a cold cup here. Okay. Just pour it in here to chill it just a touch. Because as soon as we add this, I'm actually going to spin this on ice for a second.
All right,
I would say one of my biggest fears is adding a hot ingredient into a cold cocktail. That's something that will make me lose sleep.
Nice. So basically, we took the tea and put it. It's just tea in there, but it's cold. It's a cold cup, right?
It's a cold cup. It's a cold cup. It's still a little bit hot, but at least we dropped the temperature a little bit. I'm actually going to go 3/4 ounce.
All right.
3/4 ounce. All right, let's give it a little stir.
Stir me up.
Yeah, just use the finger stir. If you're ever in a Michelin star restaurant, always use the finger stir. It's just proper. And then you want to... Oh, dude, that's way fucking better. Tell me that's not way better.
Way better.
Right?
Way better.
Crazy better.
Wow. Oh my God. What just happened?
Dude, that's a new cocktail. That's a
brand new cocktail.
That's a totally different cocktail.
That's just dilution with tea, huh?
Oh, fuck. I could drink that in the sun now, too.
Yeah.
I think that really embodies, like, that southern night. Like,
now we're talking.
Now we're talking. We are speaking the same language now. Yeah, dude.
That's great. I would serve that to anybody.
I would happily serve that, actually. That's really fucking good.
Yeah. Like, the other one, I was like... Before that, I was like, I can drink this because...
It wouldn't get good until the very end.
Yeah.
When you have all that cold water and dilution from the ice.
Oh.
That would be the best sip, would be the last sip there. In that last cocktail. Adding that
way better. I can't believe how much of a difference
dude, that is, like I said,
unbelievable.
It really helped take down the aggression of the bitters. I don't know if you noticed that really... That kind of abrasive tobacco flavor that was...
It was bitter.
It was bitter. It was bitter.
Too bitter.
This actually takes down the bitterness, but you can just taste the tobacco now.
Yeah.
It's a super like mild undernote, and that's what I wanted. I want it to be like a secondary, third type of flavor profile there. And that's exactly what I get.
That's a really well balanced
Dude, I would actually so we're gonna get drunk tonight.
Yeah, I would drink about 30 of these. Well, maybe
no one's stopping us but us,
3.
man.
Maybe 3 or 10.
I think if we match a matcha sour in between, it can keep us going.
Wow, that's great. That's really nice. And on the aftertaste, the finish, you get that sweet sappiness kind of the tea kind of lingering in the throat and the nose. And then it kind of like sticks to the citrus. So it's kind of just like raining. It's a rainy Georgia summer night up in here.
That's it, man. That's what we're going for. I really enjoy that. I really, really enjoy that.
Well done, Steven.
I like that you can taste the tea too, because that tea is so beautiful, man.
That was the other thing. In the first iteration, you couldn't taste the tea.
No.
Now you can. Now it comes out.
So I honestly don't really know if I would add sugar into this.
I wouldn't.
I don't think I would. I think I would just totally cut sugar out.
Yeah.
I would just cut sugar out and just use the tea.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love sweet to begin with because like
I do.
I feel like people who drink a lot of tea don't absolutely love sweet that much. Like you get used to not having sweet, but I wouldn't. I think this is great. And I have one more long steep for us to try.
That thing's been sitting there.
One more top off, yeah.
That's gonna be very tannic.
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to that.
But it's also like the 5th or 6th infusion of these leaves, so it might not be too intense.
A bit beat.
Yeah. Yeah, I do actually want to show the color of this thing too. So another reason I like using Professor's Pick for this rum is like, look at the color. That's the black tea. I don't know if this makes sense from a mixologist point of view, but I like when the color of the you don't like the term?
I hate the term mixologist.
Really? Okay.
Dude, I think it is the most pretentious term you can give to someone that didn't graduate college.
Well, dude, you're also far too humble of a person. Like honestly,
no, dude.
Honestly, what a person, when you make a good cocktail, it is a bit of a science. Like it deserves an ology.
Looks like a puzzle. I mean,
it is, dude. You need to know a lot about a lot of different things in order to make a good cocktail.
Yeah, it's fun, but like mixology, dude. Tell me, if you've never heard the word mixologist before, if you had an ologist on anything, like you have to be a doctor. Like you can't be a bartender.
I don't know, man.
It's
I don't know.
You ever see Half Baked?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's like one of the OG stoner movies.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, the opening line's like, "I'm a master of the custodial arts," or a janitor if you want to be a dick about it. That's what always reminds me of it. And it's like, I'm a good bartender and mixologist if you want to be a dick about it.
Okay.
That's my comparison there. That's my 2 cents. Anyways, that's my vent.
All right. Well, what I was getting at is that I don't know if in the eyes of a bartender,
thank you.
if it's actually like means anything, but to me, I like if I'm making a tea infused cocktail, I like when the tea color and chroma and luminosity matches the spirit. So like that's the black tea. This is the Bacardi rum. Like those belong together, right? I don't know. I'm just based on color. I know that's like an extremely simplistic thing to say, but like I feel like that's just an added benefit. Like it needs the taste and aroma obviously are most important and they need to match each other. But I feel like it's a benefit if they match in color.
It needs to honestly trigger on all senses, in my opinion. In my opinion, it needs to trigger on all senses.
Because if you're gonna mix that rum with a matcha, like it would look like
it's gonna look like
brown.
Shit. Yeah, it's gonna look like diarrhea. Yeah,
right.
But so that's why you just don't do that.
Right.
Yeah, it might taste good. I mean, maybe you could find like a glass where it's not going to show the color.
Yeah,
that would be like an instance. But if I'm gonna sell a cocktail on a menu, it's got to hit on every sense. So like the color, because subconsciously you make decisions. So if there's like a poopy brown color in your cocktail's a poopy brown color, you automatically, without thinking, subconsciously, you take a second and you go, "Ugh."
Totally, I totally agree.
Yeah, so it's like our job to eliminate that at all opportunity of someone going, "Ugh." You want to like. That's why like Instagramming food can sell no matter what, because people before they even try it, before they have anything, they can go, "Oh, this looks awesome," and they're excited about it and they like it before they even try it.
Right.
If you put a product in front of them that looks like shit, they're gonna disregard it. They're gonna go into it with uncertainty, and so it's like, you want to provide a drink or an experience that's just like seamless. You want them to just go in with every dish, every drink, with nothing but confidence and excitement. So color, contrast, appearance, texture, everything is just all super important.
Totally.
I can't get over how much better that got.
That's fantastic.
It's crazy.
Did I give you the tea? Oh wait, no, it's right here.
Right now.
Should we do one more tea wash and then move on? I mean, I kind of like this. I don't think I want to dilute it anymore, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna do a little splash. I'm
not gonna do any because it's gonna lower the ABV more than I'd like.
Who's a bad boy? Who's a bad boy?
Were you thinking pina coladas?
Ooh. Hey,
dude, we got coconut water.
Don't tempt me with a bad time.
Anyways, I know what we're doing after. Pinas Colossus.
With the I feel like the white tea cake would make a great pina colada because this has coconut notes in it. It has like some tropical coconut in it.
Let's try it then.
Let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
All
We
right.
gotta kind of come up with one on the fly, just like improvise on the spot.
All right, Moonlight white tea pina colada. That's our next cocktail.
All right.
Can you handle that?
Yeah, I can handle that. So we'll do Moonlight white tea. We're gonna mix it up with.
By the way,
like, dude, I want to do like a creamy like beach club pina colada. I don't want to do like any crazy elegant variation. I want like one of those like red cherry on top, some umbrella in there, like
you hold it at the slot machine when you're
just
ripping slots.
I want to
with
be
a cigarette in your mouth.
I want to be pounding this thing next to Nancy on slots, 300 pennies in. Like that's what I want.
Nothing classy about this one.
Nah, I want nothing.
All
classy.
right, I like that.
Naturally, I'm a bit bougie, so I'm like, all right, maybe I could like layer a little green chartreuse or something on there. Some herbaceousness to balance the umami, kind of play into there.
By the way, let me report on adding tea to this. You get more. I taste the tea more now. Like I actually get some of the aroma profile of the Bug-Bitten black tea, but I kind of ruined the cocktail in the process.
No, I don't. I think it made the cocktail.
No. Like the first when we added tea, and then I just added tea again. Right, so that's the second edition.
Oh, so that one ruined the cocktail.
Yeah.
You're drinking tea.
Yeah, I'm drinking too much tea.
You're drinking tea that sat near that bottle of rum.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like, I kind of had the optimum there, and then I went past it. But I mean,
you never know until you try, though.
Right. So
otherwise, you would have thought about what if. So, but damn, this one was. I like that one.
So this is the champagne black old fashioned, right?
Yeah, and I like this. There's a video on my TikTok where I did a your champagne black, and I made that. I steeped it with black peppercorn in there, and then used honey for sweetness. And that with a whiskey highball was actually pretty good. Usually a highball shouldn't have any sugar or anything like that in there. It's going to be just spirit and water or sparkling water and like a lemon zest or something. But I had a little bit in there just to kind of spruce it up. So it's more of like a whiskey soda than a highball. But yeah, and that was actually really good. But this is way fucking better. This is much better.
Yeah, totally.
I like this because old fashions are usually a drink that I'll have one, maybe two of. It's not something I'm gonna have a lot of. This is an old fashioned variation that
I would have 3 of those.
I could have 3 of those in the sun.
Yeah.
I could have 3 of those before 5 p.m.
In the Georgia heat.
In the Georgia heat. We're in New York City, so.
Well, it's Georgia somewhere.
It is Georgia somewhere.
As they say.
Both country and state.
All right. All right, we're losing it, man.
Where's the cue card?
All right, this is starting to get fun. So okay, let's do the pina colada. What do you think?
Dude,
is that the next cocktail?
I just wanted pina coladas. I was just speaking my thoughts. I wasn't really insisting on doing that right now, but
I think we should.
Dude, it's Georgia somewhere. We definitely should.
It's Georgia somewhere. It's Georgia somewhere. All right, I'm gonna brew up some of this Moonlight white tea. Give one for the homie. There you go, bud. I'll brew up some Moonlight white tea, and if I pass you some Moonlight white tea, you're gonna be able to make a pina colada with that.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I have nothing else to do but try. I gotta find.
While you're over there, could you hand me a bowl, like an empty bowl, to hold?
I'm trying to smoke some bowls right now. You need like a cereal bowl?
Yeah, an empty bowl just to hold infused tea leaves. Wow, beautiful. Thank you. You're far too kind.
Here's your bowl, Daddy.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right.
What smells like shit in my fridge?
What is that?
I don't know, man. Sorry, I'm just getting goosey.
Goosey. We're getting goosey.
What glassware do I want to use?
All right, so Steven,
Yes.
we're doing a pina colada,
Yes.
right? With
Oh, fuck, I don't have pineapple.
we don't have pineapple. We have coconut juice.
Oh, I got some shit ass pineapple juice. Yeah, no, we good.
We're good? All right, we got pineapple.
Keep the cameras rolling.
We're rolling. We are rolling.
Oh, baby, we're cooking. You can
Wow,
go your
that's just straight
way
tea. And I love it.
with me, baby.
Andrew says new cocktail discovered.
Who?
Your brother.
Droobies Doobies?
Droobies Doobie says
What
new
the fuck
cocktail
is
discovered.
up, dude?
Let's go.
Tell Mom I said hi.
Oh yeah. All right.
Alright. Let's do
So
something.
what are the ingredients in a pina colada, might I ask?
Pina Colossus is pretty much rum, pineapple, coconut, and lime. I believe the OG recipe had lime in it.
We're using this chunk of Moonlight white tea. This is aged since 2020.
Let me get a blender bottle.
That's what we're using.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of riff on this. This is something I just gotta make up on the spot.
Yeah. Now we're riffing. We're riffing.
We're riffing, man. We're bobbing, weaving. All right, I'm gonna make the coconut mix in here.
And then, all right, so Moonlight white tea, Pina Colossus, and then I want to make a ripe Puer tea. What'd you call it? Service, sweet vermouth service.
Yeah, that one is gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to figure that one out.
Or we can do a different one for the raw Puer too.
Yeah, I would have no confidence going with the raw pour. I have kind of like a rough draft in my head. I think a sweet vermouth service would be pretty fucking sexy with it.
All right, so for the Moonlight white tea, I'm using boiling hot water. And a lot of people on like packages of white tea, if you buy them out in the supermarket or whatever, they'll say white tea is like the most delicate tea and you need to use even lower temperatures than green tea. That is all fake news. That is a massive myth. White tea should be brewed hot as you can. Pretty hot. Not quite as hot as ripe Puer. Maybe like the same, but the same as black tea and oolong tea, right around 90 Celsius, 195. I'm doing this boiling hot because I know this tea really well, and I know that when I extract all of the flavor out of this tea with boiling hot water, it still is really balanced. And so that's what I want. And I want something a little bit stronger for the cocktail. So using boiling hot water, 1 Gaiwan pack. It was pretty heavy. It was probably 7 grams, 8 grams. You saw that big chunk in there. Maybe even close to 10 grams, to be honest. But that is going to be our tea base for this. Let's quit talking about. So Quinn says, for a future version, frozen liquid tea might be good. Maybe good for blender drinks also. Interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like if
You freeze it, make ice cubes out of it, and
yeah, if I took this right here, put it in an ice cube tray and froze it,
yeah,
that would be fire.
It'd also be good for like drinks with heavy dilution, like the old fashioned that we have, stuff like that. So if you did like Professor's Black, like ice cube,
yeah,
and then it'll slowly dilute more into there, and
just
keep it going.
We need to do another tea infused cocktail session just with all the teas as ice. Although it would be hard because you don't get a ton of flavor, right? Like you really need to let it sit and let the ice cubes melt before you get a lot of the tea out.
Well, yeah, that's kind of thing. They'd have to be like sippers. We're talking Negronis, old fashions, Manhattans, anything like that. Stuff that you really take your time with.
Right. So what do you got there? That's
This is Coco Lopez, which is the shit. It is incredible.
I've seen you eat that stuff just straight.
I had no problem. I just raw dog this. It is so goddamn good. I'm the slut for coconut though. I absolutely love it. So this is coconut cream. It's very inexpensive, very artificial.
Dude, see, I wanted the Moonlight White because I get a little smell like this guy one cat. Like just a.
You do get those light notes of coconut.
Yeah, just really light, a little bit of coconut cacao, kind of. What else do you get?
I get a little cacao, but I also get like, this is gonna sound a little bizarre, but almost like wet rock.
Ooh, wet rock.
Yeah, I know it sounds fucking weird, but like if you ever smelled a wet rock.
I get wet rock.
You get it? You get like, wet rock?
Like a rocky waterfall.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of like when I was a kid and I would go hiking like mountains, waterfalls, stuff like that. Not even a kid, I did that as an adult too. Just for the story's sake, when I was a kid.
Yeah, I totally get wet rock. But enough of a coconut note to pass for Pina Colada mix.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really crucial to lick your jigger before you keep making drinks for other people.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you test positive for you know what?
Yeah, herpes.
Good. Good. That's a good fun fact. I'm gonna write that down and not
do it. Yeah, don't forget it.
Smell this. Check that out. What are you getting there? A little mushroom, eh? Little coconut cacao mushroom. Little shumami.
Yeah, a little shumami.
Little coconut cacao mushroom shumami.
You definitely get that. I think the mushroom and coconut are very prominent there.
Yeah, totally.
There's something I can't really put my finger on.
I've got some tea for you there. I'm going to steep this up again. Just because I want some tea.
Yeah, I'm going to want to do equal parts tea and coconut water. Maybe even a little bit more coconut water. This is pineapple juice, which is fresh squeeze. For sure, dude.
The highest quality pineapple juice. Freshly squeezed in 2006.
It was a good vintage for pineapples, man. That was a good year.
Yeah.
Very good year for pineapples.
Yeah. The Bush administration had just passed a tax break on pineapple imports, and oh boy, did the pineapple industry boom.
Oh man, Dole took advantage. Dole didn't sleep.
Good, that's the stuff. So mostly high quality ingredients.
Dude,
I feel like if you
what did I say? I said I wanted a cheap.
That's true. It's true.
I wanted a cheap Playa del Carmen, beach club pina colada.
That's true. He said it. I remember.
Like one of those.
You remember it too.
One of those drinks where they're like, oh, pay for admission and you get 2 free drinks. It's like I want one of those fucking pina coladas.
Yep.
I don't have any red cherries.
That's all right. That's
Forgive
fine.
me.
I'll forgive you.
Hey, thank you.
I don't think Quinn will forgive you though.
Sorry, Quinn. And Jamie. That's the guy's name from Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay. I'm gonna drink a cup of tea real quick, if you don't mind.
No, I mind. Please don't.
All right. So what ingredients do we have so far in here? We have.
So far we have
Did you
Coco Lopez. So far we have Dole's Fresh Squeeze 2006 vintage pineapple juice. And almost 2 ounces of this tea.
Nice.
Hold on. So I did equal parts of everything just because we're riffing this right now. We have no idea what's going to be good, what's not, what we need, what we don't need. So we're figuring it out. So I did equal parts everything, and I'm going to kind of branch out the flavors from there, see if they work together. If they don't, then we're going to figure it out. This is a shit watercolor.
Yeah.
This is going to be a disgusting looking pina colada.
Yeah. Well, you did say beach resort slot machine pina colada.
Yeah, it said Mexico, but I didn't say Mexican water. It's cool. It's cool. All right, this should thin out. The Coco Lopez is dumb thick, like 3 C's thick. So you want to thin that out a little bit. And also I added the cold ingredients first. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but it just helps chill out the temperature on the tea. So we don't want hot tea in the drink.
Mm.
Honestly, it doesn't smell good. So, yeah, it straight up doesn't smell good. Smell that.
There's a little bit of a stank. I think it's all right.
It's a musk.
I'm down to try it. It's a bit of
Yeah,
a
I
musk.
mean, we're still going to try it. Let's not be ridiculous here.
It's probably from that pineapple juice.
Dude, it's a 2006. There's no way.
It's true. That's too good of a
There's
vintage.
no
to smell that.
fucking way, bro. All right. Let's go. All right, this looks disgusting. This looks like baby throw up. I'm so excited. All right, I only have a little bit of this funk rum left, so we're gonna.
Yeah, the bad color comes from that coconut stuff, which looks kind of disgusting to begin with. Like, does that mix with anything, really?
Coco Lopez?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you have a clear pina colada with Coco Lopez in it? Probably not.
It wouldn't be clear, but if you add like coconut water with it, it lightens it up a little bit and it makes it.
So
white.
maybe it's like the dark color of the tea.
It's the dark color of the tea that makes it, because you're adding like an off-white color and adding like brown to it.
Okay.
Gonna be poop.
All right. So that's an example of the flavor profile maybe matching, but the color is not matching. Right? We were just talking about that.
All right, we're going rum. All right, I'm doing split-based rum. I did funky Jamaican rum. Jamaican rum's super rich in molasses. Really, really funky. Really weird. You can honestly smell it right now. I can smell it. The funkiness, the molasses is insanely prominent on it. I'm going to add a little bit of oak, some Bacardi Ocho. I had ice. Oh, shit. I brought the ice. Okay. Excuse me. You can go your own way.
Drinking tea in the interim.
What's up?
Nah, just talking over here.
Where's my hammer?
Where is your hammer?
Where did I put my hammer?
Where did I put my hammer? Oh, wow. Nice.
I have ruined my freezer for these so they're not frozen. I live in a New York City apartment. Give me a goddamn break. All right. Make sure I don't lose my hammer.
Okay.
Thank you.
I didn't think we would use so many hammers in this live stream, but
I didn't anticipate it either, but I'm very down for the surprise. Dude, let me tell you, I'm so excited. We're making pina coladas right now.
oh my god!
I'm
dude,
so
let's go.
goddamn excited. I didn't think this was gonna happen after our 5:30 a.m. old fashioned. I didn't think it could get better, and we could add a pina colada in there. All right, so I did Coco Lopez pineapple juice. I did the tea, and I did rum, split based rum. Gorgeous.
Want to sip of tea?
Next question.
Next question.
Next question, dude.
Next question.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I got it.
There it is.
Gonna loosen it up.
Loosen it
Give it a
up.
show.
Give it a how you doing.
Oh, you feel it breaking up. Oh. All right. Enough of that. I'm not gonna go straight now. I'm gonna go straight savage. Savage. All right, here we have our baby puke. Absolute diarrhea.
Yeah, not the prettiest color, but actually, I remember. I know why this is happening. Before, when we were making cocktails and we used white tea, I brewed it and then I put it in the fridge. And the next day I came back and it was this color. So if you take this tea, and I actually know about this phenomenon, if you take like highly caffeinated, dark, either white or black tea and you cool it down, it forms that cloudy color. Because
It's actually not that bad.
it's not that bad.
No, I love
I
being
mean,
dramatic. That's the only thing.
I mean, it's a pina colada.
So I think it's glosses.
It should be a little cloudy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well,
Moonlight, white tea, pina colada.
I'm just gonna try it as is and then just make adjustments accordingly.
I like that. I love that for us.
I love that for us as well.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm not going to add chartreuse into it. That's a no-go. I am going to add more 2006 pineapple juice. Just a whoop. Just a
little dash.
whoop. Actually, you know what this needs? It wasn't missing pineapple juice. 2006 vintage pineapple juice.
What was it missing?
More acid. You notice how it's thick? It's thick. It's got the sweetness. It's got the alcohol. But what's it missing?
It's thick. It's sweet. It has the alcohol. It's missing sour.
It's missing acid.
Acid.
Correct.
It's missing acid. It is missing a little bit of acid.
It's missing acid, dude. That's what I'm saying. So what we're gonna do? We're just gonna. Usually, you want to shake viscous ingredient like this. We're just gonna go ahead and just get all of my hand germs in there.
Good.
Which just add another layer of complexity. All right, this is professionalism at its finest. All right.
All right.
Now just
You gonna give her a finger stir?
yeah, just give it the old finger stir. You're gonna want to just kind of put all your germs into that. Okay, all I got was lime juice on that, but
Whoa. I totally get it.
much better.
I get the balance now. Yeah, the sour really is the perfect counterbalance to the alcohol and the sweetness.
And so you notice with that last drink when we added that tea,
Yeah.
that tea has a lot of natural sweetness and tannin
Yeah.
to it. And so we added it because, like you said, when you sipped into that originally, you're like, this is strong.
Yeah. There was a lot of
As
alcohol.
soon as we added just a touch more sweetness and tannin, it balanced out that alcohol like crazy. And that was just like, I would happily sell that at my own, like at a restaurant.
Ooh, I get the I get some of the savory activation from the white tea too.
The tea here is actually prominent.
Yeah.
It's actually prominent. The only other thing I was thinking of adding was a bit of dry spice to kind of help, because it feels a little flat. It feels a little dull. And so I feel like there's another layer.
What's dry spice?
Cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, any of those. So you have like winter spices almost. Like any spice that, or any of those like scents or anything that you imagine in the wintertime typically are going to be like along lines of dry spices. So you have like your hot spice, which is going to be like pepper and stuff like that. But nutmeg, cinnamon, clove, they provide really, really warm flavors. And so when you grate it, as soon as you grate nutmeg, it's very prominent on the nose. It's very beautiful. And about 85% of your taste is going to come from your smell. So having just a little bit, and that actually you saw me doing the orange zest, that's exactly what that does. All it does is it's going to add a little orange flavor, and that's solely through the nose. So like I said, about 80, they say 80 to 90% of your smell is from, or your taste is from your smell. So I should just say 85. 85% of your taste is through your smell. So when you're sick, you're all stuffed up, you can't taste anything.
Right.
That's all because of that. So it brings a lot of clarity when you can actually smell.
It added almost a new texture to it too. Like it kind of added a little bit of a crisp body to it for some reason. Maybe that could be from the.
Sorry, I just sip mine and I just get an extreme amount of the funk rum that we use.
Yeah.
That's what's breaking that molasses. Should I hold the hammer the whole time?
You should keep the hammer.
I'm going to keep it. Just safe. Just in case.
Keep the hammer.
You
never know when you're going to need a hammer on a cocktail.
Literally never know when you're going to need a hammer for a cocktail. Yes.
Yeah.
You never know.
But yeah, there's a, like, on the sides of my tongue, when I know this white tea, when I drink this white, and I was just talking about this today, there's an activation of savory and umami from this white tea that I get in the sides of my tongue specifically. And I'm definitely triggering that same response when I sip this. Although I don't get all of the aroma profile of the white tea because it's kind of muddled.
It's very masked in this.
It's masked a lot, but I get the raw taste response from my tongue and mouth. So
actually, if we wanted to, we could take that white tea, and I've recently become obsessed with not using citrus to rim glasses, like for margaritas. Now, if you've ever seen, so bartending, what we'll do is we'll take like a lime, rub it on the rim, put the salt on it, and that like the juice from the lime holds as a glue for the salt. Wait, say that again? All right, so you can use like lime juice as a glue to put salt on the rim for a margarita or something like that. So anytime you get a margarita, if you ever watch them make it, they might take a lime or lemon or something, rub it in there, maybe dip it in lime juice, and then the salt. So it works as a glue. I've recently become obsessed with using water and flavored water because I think it's really, really gross when you have like the lime juice on the rim and it starts to like kind of go bad, I guess. And so I use water, just water and atomizer, and you could flavor that water. So if you wanted more aroma, you could actually use the tea, spritz it. That could be a component, and that's going to elevate the flavor in there as well. Spritz the tea? Yeah, so if you actually use it and just spritz the glass. Wow. Kind of like what I did with the orange. I would love to try that. With the orange zest there, you know what I'm saying? I would love to try that. Yeah, so if you have the orange zest there, then you can do you need a special like spritzing little? Yeah, honestly, in the past I've used like. What if we just empty out a Windex bottle and fill it with tea? You can do that. I did that with it was a glasses cleaner, like sunglasses cleaner. There's like a little spray bottle that came with it. And I emptied it out. I washed it and just sprayed a bunch of water through it, cleaned it out until it just smelled fine, and then I use that as an atomizer.
Wow.
Not
Sorry,
a restaurant,
I'm
no.
watching you through the camera. I feel like
I haven't looked at the camera once, which may be.
I think we should talk by looking at each other through the camera.
We should look at. Okay, we're gonna do that.
That's
all right. Let's start the podcast. Let's start this over.
Can you rewind a live time?
Cut.
Sorry.
No, I haven't looked once, which I realize every time I look up, I realize I should probably keep looking up.
Yeah. Well, this is our first live stream, so we're learning.
We're figuring it out. Playing jazz.
It is hard to. It's not natural to talk to somebody and not look at them when you're talking to them.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Like
here we are.
This feels weird. Okay.
I'm getting used to it. I'm getting
gonna get used to it. I have no choice.
What do you got there in your hand?
San Pellegrino.
A little San Pelli?
Yeah. Got hella coconut water on my palate.
So next cocktail needs to be. We have 2 more teas to work with. We have a duck shit oolong, and we have a puer, a ripe puer tea. You tried the ripe puer today, and you were a little baffled by it. So I don't want to put you on the spot with that one.
That's fine. I mean, I'm a human. Like, we can figure it out. And honestly, it'd be cool if we kind of explain, and maybe someone can chime in and help out. But that one was really tough. I thought about that and I'm like, it's so complex. It was very complex to the point where I really thought that I don't know anything simple that I can do with it. So I didn't know if
the thing is that it's a lot, right? It's a lot. Where the professors pick the champagne black for contrast is it's there, but it's also light on its feet and it's bubbly. So you can have it be there and it's there, but it's not commanding the whole show. Whereas the ripe puer, it's you drink that and it's that's heavy, thick.
Yeah, that's
sappy.
Super tough.
That's a lot to deal with.
It is. It's a lot, and it's really tough to showcase those flavors because that's kind of it's so unique, it's so funky that you don't really want to muddle or have any other flavors that are going to overtake that flavor.
Yeah.
So you really want to emphasize and showcase those flavors of the tea, and it's so funky and weird. I don't know exactly which direction I'd like to take it, whether it be something more stirred down, boozy, or more high acid, easy drinking, refreshing. So there, I really didn't know how to go with it. And like I said, I want to showcase that flavor profile, but I don't want to add ingredients that are going to mask it.
All right. So I think I'm going to give you something easier to work with. I'm going to pour you some duck shit oolong, right?
I love the name.
Duck shit oolong is kind of it's gotten hot in the last few months to a year or two. People are starting to talk about duck shit more and more. In fact, one of my friends and customers on Wu Mountain Tea, Isabella, she bought Wu Mountain Tea duck shit oolong, and then she found duck shit oolong chocolate from this cool company called Fossa Chocolates. They have their duck shit oolong chocolate, and she paired the two together and did that pairing a few days ago. So you have companies chocolate companies making chocolate out of duck shit oolong.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I've seen blogs by pretty famous people talking about duck shit oolong. So it's kind of getting hot in the scene. And today, when we were prepping this session, you didn't taste it yet. So I want to prepare some for you right now.
Yeah, let's put it on the spot.
And then I want to see what you think is going to mix with it. All in all, pretty poundable.
I mean, pina coladas are just
pretty
poundable. They're the definition of poundable, bro.
Yeah. Pretty poundable.
If you could have, all right, so, yeah, death row drink, what are you having?
Death row drink?
Yeah.
A cocktail?
Yeah, you gotta have one last one.
It can't be tea?
I mean, it could be.
It could be. Any beverage.
I'm going out with something hard, though.
I feel I gotta go to my death not sober. I got.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I wouldn't go with tea. I think that'd be too polite.
Okay. So I'm on death row. I got a little bit of time left to drink a cocktail.
Yeah, you have time. They go, okay, we're gonna kill you, but you are.
It's like last meal, but
Yeah, it's last
beverage.
meal. It's last meal. It's last beverage.
Last beverage. Wow. Damn. That's a hell of a question.
Give it thought. It's a super tough question.
All right. Well, I don't have to put too much thought into it. I would take an aged Lao Banjiang raw Puer tea. An old Lao Banjiang raw Puer tea, straight out of the teapot into my teacup. No alcohol needed.
That's the answer I'd expect from you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like,
no, don't apologize, man. I love that you love it.
I would go into my death just buzzing off of that pure bright enlightenment of an aged Lao Banjiang tea. That's how I'd go out right there.
There's no way I'm doing that.
That's how I'd go out. How about you? What's your last cocktail?
Pina colada, dude.
Pina colada?
Fucking pina colada, dude. I love pina coladas.
Kidding me?
Dude, pina coladas are delicious.
Oh my god.
The clarified pina colada they got at Dante.
Is it gonna be a slot machine and the slot machine's like an electric chair where you like pull it out?
Hope, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I hit all sevens and then electrocute.
Brutal.
No, but that's my going out drink. That is
really?
actually, yeah,
you love
man.
pina coladas that much?
Dude, I love them that much. It's a sick obsession.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, a lot of people don't expect that.
All right, well, tell me. I mean, because actually, you made me a pina colada once, which changed my whole mindset about.
Yeah, the clarified pina colada.
The clarified pina colada.
Yeah.
Had a milk punch. By the way, this is duck shit oolong tea. I'll get into this tea a little bit more in a second, but I want to hear more about your deathbed. Your deathbed pina colada.
Oh, sorry. No.
So wait. So would it be a clarified or would it be a dirty, nasty, freaking beachside?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be happy with either.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna be equally
You're
happy.
a sicko, man.
No, man, dude.
You're
I
a
love
sicko.
those. I love those like artificial tasting like pool club, Vegas pool club.
Is there
like,
chlorine water inside of it or not really?
It just adds character. That's
Oh,
truly all it does for me. It's just add character.
Oh.
If it's not in there, then I'm gonna be.
You're one of the
drunk
top
before
bartenders in New York City, and your
Correct.
last beverage is a dirty, muddled pina colada with chlorine water in
Oh
it.
my god! I'm drinking with a smile. Drinking with a smile. 10 out of 10 times.
Unbelievable.
That's kind of it's funny. One of the best chefs I worked with. I think he's truly one of the most talented chefs I've worked with. You tell me he
Wait,
goes.
what's Q talking about? I have an idea for the ripe. Yes, dude, tell us. We need inspiration for the ripe.
Dude, I want to hear it too.
Yeah, put your idea in for the ripe, and you could keep telling your story.
Oh, one of the most talented chefs I ever worked with. He would go home and he'd tell me he cooks up 4 hot dogs in the microwave.
Oh my god!
4 hot dogs
dude.
in the microwave and a hot pocket, and that's how he sleeps at night. He makes some of the most intricate, beautiful dishes I've ever seen in my life. Like when it comes to flavor profile, presentation, everything.
Wait, and this man goes home and he microwaves 4 hot dogs.
4 hot dogs and a hot pocket, or 2,
That's
depending on the day.
wild.
Yeah, man, it's so. Let me live my life. I'm having a pool club,
Wow.
pina colada on my deathbed.
You don't have that equivalent for tea people. Like if you have people who dedicate their life to tea, it's like we might drink tea in a less sophisticated way. Like I'll just toss my leaves in a mug and add hot water. Like you don't use the whole guy one.
Yeah.
But we're not drinking celestial seasonings, pumpkin spice.
Well, I
tea.
understand that, but also the industry of tea versus being a chef
It's
or
totally
a bartender.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're serving 10 hours straight.
True.
10
True.
hours straight. You're
True.
just doing
True.
that.
True. Totally.
By the time
True.
you travel
That's
home,
not the
everything
same
like
for
that,
tea.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you don't have to like do it continuously.
Yeah, it's not a fast-paced
All right.
environment.
I want you to smell this. All right. So now we need some inspiration from you, a little bit. Has a strong terpenoid profile. You can smell it. It's almost like bud in a way.
It's a little, but it's definitely leafy. Like
Herbaceous.
Yeah, almost like I get like dried grass, like or like dried hay. Like you ever had like or like those you grew up upstate.
Yeah.
After you mow the lawn, and then there's those clumps of like grass.
Yeah.
And they stay there after a few hot days, and they kind of just like brittle up.
Mm.
That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like brittled like grass or hay or straw.
Yeah, there's a bit of a sweetness to it too, almost like a honey or a orchid or some type of osmanthus flower.
Surprisingly,
a little bit of a floral note there.
For something like very, I think it's actually bright. It really reminds me of summertime.
All right, so Quinn says ripe puer, bourbon, heavy cream, format like a White Russian.
Instead of Kahlua. I mean, you could even add Kahlua, actually.
You could add Kahlua.
Yeah.
Do we have Kahlua?
I think coffee. I don't have Kahlua. I have
coffee liqueur.
Mr. Black coffee liqueur, which is more of like a authentic coffee.
We should do a ripe puer White Russian.
I'm lactose intolerant. I don't have any heavy cream.
Dude, you have
I have lactate milk.
You have lactate milk. Let's use that.
Use that.
Lactate whole milk.
We're just gonna get fucking loaded. I'm already buzzed.
I'm pretty buzzed too, but we have to drink one more. Well, we have to make a oolong cocktail and a ripe puer.
We can do that. This one is really funky. I like this because it's really
do low ABV for the oolong. We can do like
no. Let's get absolutely housed. It's
all right.
Yeah, no. It's
so what are you feeling for this?
It's Monday, but it's my Saturday.
True.
So I have all day to recover. I have to go to an event tomorrow, but
so
that's not
what's your gut telling you on this one?
Well, my gut's telling me that he's absolutely right with
using on this oolong.
On this one, the oolong.
Yeah, give yourself a little splash.
Because that last sip I had was cold, so it's a different flavor for it. Actually, this wasn't the tea that I had.
No,
I haven't sipped this yet.
Yeah, no, you haven't sipped this yet.
So I've only had the nose.
Yeah.
The nose, like I said, is really complex. It's really hard to put my finger on, but it brings me back to summertime. So it brings me to like brighter flavors. I want to lean towards that, brighter, lighter.
Yeah. It has
spring naturally floral. I go towards that. Yeah, it's like that cusp of like spring to summertime. And I would like to kind of embrace that. So something like cold, chilled, maybe more herbaceous.
Love that. Love that. What's going to talk about?
A lot of bitterness and tannin in it. It's really nice though.
Maybe augment with walnut bitters.
I used to have walnut bitters.
Or nocino. Nocino.
You might have meant nonino. Amaro no Nino. It's like one of my favorite Amaros. I don't like Amaro that much. I think it's overrated. Overplayed.
All right, so what are you doing with this duck shit?
In place. This duck shit. If I had to do it, I don't need time with this. I have a buzz already going. My palate's already thrown off. We just had those creamy ass pina coladas.
All right. Well, I feel like it's gonna stay creamy because we're going for a White Russian with the right puer.
Puer? Well, I was saying it's going to be a good idea to play coffee off of it. I don't think I would do a White Russian. I wouldn't want to add cream. If anything, I would make it more of a Negroni route and try to go like a coffee flavored Negroni, but adding that like umami into it.
Let's do it. Coffee.
I don't have
right puer Negroni.
I don't have bitter aperitivo though. I got really shit faced a few weeks ago and drank my whole bottle of Campari. Well, I didn't drink the whole bottle, but most of my bitter aperitivo was consumed that night. We're just going to town on Garibaldi's and Americanos. I have Aperol, so we do a low ABV option, but that's going to be a lot. I'm going to be honest, man. My brain's a little fucking fried right now. Excuse my language. My brain's a little fried right now.
Okay. All right, so...
And we could do maybe a White Russian.
Do you think we have...
I got to taste the Puer again now.
Right.
I got to taste again after this. He's got me thinking on this like White Russian idea. I think that is going to be a good
that's
idea.
why I actually brought the second container so that we could have one tea here and have the second tea here.
keep that mentality going. Yeah, I think well, so it's gonna be good to play it off coffee or cocoa. So cacao and coffee, those two have more flavor molecule components that are like in touch with other ingredients. Like, so more ingredients can, like, their molecules will match up with coffee and cacao more than like any other ingredient. If that makes sense. I'm not wording that properly, but I hope
I kind of get what you're saying. It's weird actually, because the tea plant is linked and grouped together with coffee and cacao often.
Yes.
In 2018, I went to a conference, an academic conference called the Tea Coffee Cacao Conference.
Okay.
In China. It was an international conference called the Tea Coffee Cacao Conference. And it was all the science researchers who study tea, coffee, and cacao coming together and like reporting on their respective plants. But those get grouped together for a number of reasons. But they are extremely unique plants for a bunch of reasons.
Yeah, so the flavor compounds, they just match up and they can blend with like more flavors than anything I've seen. So coffee is like it's such a diverse, and you can utilize such a diverse ingredient. You can utilize it in so many different ways.
Coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably should have skipped the 2 p.m. Vermouth service. I'm getting a little.
We got one more cocktail.
Yeah, we got one. I can do one more cocktail before I gotta turn the camera off me.
Okay. All right.
I know my mouth and I don't trust it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We got one more cocktail in us. At least we're gonna try this Puer tea. Ripe Puer. You had this earlier today.
Yeah, that was one that really stumped me.
We'll sip it, and if you feel inspired, like if you drink it and you're like
Jimmy Neutron
and you're
brain
like,
blast.
boom, brain blast. I know what I want to do with that. Then we'll do it, and if we don't, then we'll continue the oolong and the puer for.
I really like the idea of that White Russian because I always think like coffee is an undernote, but I think just like kind of just taking it on and just take that coffee flavor and embrace it and just build off of it. I think it's going to be a lot better than kind of trying to like slide it in as a mild note to balance out like the abrasive flavor it has.
So I'm gonna let this soak. The right puer, like usually I'll pour out the first infusion. I kind of forgot to for expected reasons. But the right puer, you can let it soak in boiling hot water for basically ever, and it's going to be really
this would go really well with roasted cardamom. So if you take roasted cardamom, I think a neutral spirit, like honestly vodka, and just make it a highball, I think that'd be fucking delicious. I would pound the shit out of this. I don't have any cardamom.
All right, so we have one more cocktail left in us. Oh, you don't have any more cardamom?
I don't have cardamom.
All right, so we'll think about just the.
I think if I add grapefruit rind to this, it's gonna be too
I get grapefruit notes from this a little bit.
Well, I get that, and I kind of wanted to play off of it, but I'm thinking I don't get grapefruit juice. I get grapefruit rind. So when we think of a grapefruit. And this is kind of something that I think of when I'm making
because
cocktails.
It's more tannic, it's more bitter. It's more
so if you think of if something's grapefruit flavored, for me in my mind, I go, okay, what part of the grapefruit? Because you have the grapefruit peel, which is insanely bitter. You have the pith, which is going to be a little bit more dry, and then you have the guts, like the juice, which is going to be super high acid, juicy. And so for me, I get a lot of like grapefruit rind. How can I bring the grapefruit guts, the juice, all that into this? And that's what I want to know. And so I'm thinking if I just take grapefruit slices, infuse them into water, force carbonate it, and then maybe a little bit of like white cacao and black peppercorn. Get really light, clean, elegant. So take this. I would infuse it with grapefruit, white creme de cacao, black peppercorn, cook them together, make a cordial. Boom. I think that'd be pretty good.
That would be great.
I'm going to do that tomorrow.
Let's do that.
I might do that tonight.
We'll do that tonight when the camera's off.
I'm going to do that tonight when the camera's off.
All right. So I got a Puer for
I
you.
actually bought grapefruits just in case.
Toss that for you.
Grapes,
Right.
yes.
Puer. See what we're thinking with that. Quinn asked, do you have regular coconut milk rather than just the cream?
No, we don't.
No.
We can get it after this, though.
Okay.
Yeah, all I have... Actually, hold on. Hold the phone, Quinn.
Quinn, hold the phone.
Quinn, please hold the phone. Are you still holding the phone?
I think he's still holding the phone.
Is he still holding the... Hold
We'll
on.
see. He said, perhaps bourbon, coffee/chocolate liqueur, ripe puer, then just a very light float of coconut milk. This man's a goddamn genius. I'll tell you what.
Quinn, you're hired.
Quinn already has a job.
Fuck you, Quinn. Just kidding, man. I appreciate you. I didn't mean that. What I said back there 3 seconds ago, I didn't mean that.
I'll be here.
I don't have coconut milk. I used to.
Dude, this is like 92% cacao, dark chocolate.
Oh, this is what's in my cup.
Tell me that's not 92% dark cacao.
There's a shitload of cacao in there, but
Right, dude?
But
This is ripe puer. These are the same leaves, the same tea leaves that green tea matcha is made from. You basically lay the leaves out and you inoculate them with fermentation microbes, just like cheese or beer. And you let the microbes ferment the tea leaves, and you end up with this jet black tea. I need you to see the color of this tea.
The
And
clear
it's
vessel.
straight up dark cacao, right?
Dude, it's extremely dark. It's very.
This is the
savory.
same. This is the same plant. This is the
That's actually darker
same
than I thought it
plant
was.
as green tea. That is the same leaf of green tea.
That's the same leaf as green tea.
It's the exact same leaf as green tea. You literally take green
that's
tea.
Cool.
You take green tea and you ferment it, and that's what you get.
Okay,
You
so
get
this is
that
part of the
color.
fermentation.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually fermented tea.
Why wouldn't we add more fermented product to it? I think that'd be really cool. I made this kimchi salt, and I've been fucking dying to use it. And
Let's throw some kimchi salt in there.
No, I don't think in it, but on the rim of the cocktail.
Ooh.
I think that'd be really
Ooh.
fucking cool. Yeah, so it's got this like fermented cabbage like saltiness to it. It's really cool. And I've been dying to use it, but I just want to find the right cocktail to use it on. I got a bottle of soju.
We can keep it simple for this one. We could just do like a soju, ripe puer.
I mean, this could be a low ABV. I'm
do it.
automatically straying away from the. I fucking love his idea of a White Russian.
Yeah, he knows you work for Dave, Quinn. Nothing, not talking.
Oh.
Wait, so you love his idea of a low ABV White Russian?
No, I mean just the White Russian in general. I think it was a really good idea just to attach like coffee flavor to that. But I honestly want to take it a completely separate way, and I want to go like low ABV. I think I'm gonna stick to the Vermouth service. I think the Vermouth service would be really. Let me show you. I got a bottle of fresh. So they didn't have big bottles of this Vermouth. Hold on. Do you got an extra clean teacup over there?
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, I see a couple there. All right, so this is one of my favorite. Wow, sweet vermouths. They didn't have any small bottles or big bottles, so they just had a bunch of
Nips?
Yeah, little nips. And so this sweet vermouth, I think, is one of my favorites, if not favorite. I also have no problem with Martini Rosso. People shit on it, but fuck you. I'm sorry, I gotta watch my language. I know you got different views.
Very good. So do I just drink this normally?
Sip it. Try it. Tastes like it's a tea.
Whoa.
Really rich in vanilla.
I get almost like a rich, deep plum from that.
You get deep plum?
Like a really ripe, almost overly ripe plum. This goes with Puer. We need to mix
That's
this
what I'm
with
saying.
Puer.
Sweet vermouth service.
This goes with Puer.
So-
That's the Puer mixer right there.
That's what I'm saying. So
Okay.
originally I'm thinking sweet vermouth service with the Puer. That's what I said originally,
Wow.
like
Okay.
a few hours ago. This is the
let's do
vermouth
it.
I picked up that I thought would pair best with the Puer.
We have to
Really
mix,
rich
we
in
have
vanilla.
to do this. You need to make this happen because that is the most Puer like.
I think they
Alcoholic thing
blend
I've ever had in
together
my
very
life.
well. Yeah, and so I want to do like a vermouth service because vermouth service to me,
Wait, what does service mean after the word vermouth?
it's just it's a drink, a vermouth drink,
Okay.
and so I call it vermouth service. It doesn't really matter how you word it. It's a vermouth based cocktail. You can say vermouth based cocktail. You can say vermouth service. Vermouth service is just easier for me.
Okay.
And so I think vermouth is one of the most beautiful things.
That's insane. That reminds me of Puer in so many different ways.
Dude, people to me, they're always like, I want my martini just like a drop of vermouth. I want you to whisper vermouth to it. Dude, vermouth is beautiful. Vermouth is delicious. Like, embrace the vermouth. I say, like, I love vermouth. I think a vermouth and tonic is a really good low ABV drink for me.
Oh my God.
Where I'm like too hammered.
Just before you mix it, sip that and then sip this Puer.
And
like,
so I'm
together.
thinking if I throw these, so the way I'd concoct it, if I took these two ingredients, just these two ingredients, I would throw it. Did you see my latest TikTok video where I took the 50-50 martini and you throw it? Instead of stirring or shaking, you do a method called throwing. And basically you take the two shakers and you throw the drink, like literally throw it over ice, and it adds a lot of air to it. And so that air, adding the air and the water, it would really settle down like any astringency in these and make it very palatable. I think it'd be delicious.
Are you able to throw right now? 4 cocktails deep, you throwing?
I mean, dude, I'm not origami and I don't fold under pressure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they go together
perfectly.
Very well.
Perfectly.
Very well. I don't think there's any bitters. Maybe like a dash of orange bitters.
No. 2 ingredients.
I love that. I love my favorite cocktails. And cocktails I thrive and strive to create are like simple. 2 ingredients, 2-3 ingredients. I think those are like the best cocktails there are. So classics, you're talking about Manhattan, that's 3 ingredients: spirit, vermouth, bitters.
Let's do a 2-ingredient cocktail. This sweet vermouth, Puer.
Should I start throwing?
Start throwing.
All right.
It's time to throw.
I got to clean the shaker. It's all covered in coconut.
All right.
Give me
it's our last cocktail.
Dude, this is actually going to be really good.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah, just give me a second to rinse these out.
That's crazy. Puer sweet vermouth.
Do I have any chill glasses? I do not. You can go your own way. Leave me. Let me throw this puppy in.
So I'll riff on Puer for a little bit. So basically, you saw the color of this tea, right? This is jet black. Jet black. So that is green tea. That is green tea that you take, and you pile it up. You pile heap it in a big room. You spray it with water, get it wet, and then you inoculate it with some fermenting microbes, just like you would with cheese or beer or any other fermented beverage or food. And the microbes ferment the tea leaves, and they create Puer tea. And in the process of fermentation, the tea is going from green to jet black, and the bitterness and astringency, the catechins and the tannins that create that bitterness and astringency in green tea, they are mellowing out, smoothing out. They're becoming soft, round, and the mouthfeel of Puer is just like this silky, buttery, smooth mouthfeel. And then you also get these like cacao, chocolate, like really sweet caramel notes that develop at the same time. So it is mind-boggling. Like nobody who ever drinks ripe Puer would ever guess in a million years that it comes from green tea, that it is really green tea, right? In the same way that cheese is, Steven, cheese is whole milk, right? Fermented whole milk.
Varies.
Right? With extra fat or extra something?
I mean, it varies. It's not always whole milk.
Okay.
Dude, cheese is like wine, like tea. There's so much variety. There's so much that, like, yeah, everyone's going to be a little bit different.
Anyway, the point is...
Dude, I can't even lie. I can't throw a drink until I take it.
Go. Okay, go. Send it.
Thank you.
So anyway, ripe Puer is this crazy thing. You wouldn't guess in a million years it's from green tea, but it is. And literally, I mean, it's so different. Literally every quality component about green tea changes when it becomes ripe Puer. Color, aroma, taste, shape, everything. But there's something about it that people get addicted to. Like there's a whole Puer tea world, a sub-universe within tea of people that love Puer. And, we could go on into this pretty deep if we wanted to, but you have ripe Puer and you have raw Puer. We're talking ripe Puer now. That fermentation process is a process of ripe Puer tea. The raw Puer is a lot closer to green tea. It's a lot less changed, right? So if you had a raw Puer and I told you it came from green tea, you would probably believe me. Ripe Puer, this one is the one that is really, really different. And that's the process of like 6 weeks, 8 weeks of that fermentation. Raw Puer is a little bit different. And maybe in the next video, we'll try to make a cocktail with raw Puer because when Steven asked me what my last beverage would be, my answer was a raw Puer from Lao Ban Zhang. So I love that tea more than I could even describe, but it's tricky. It would be tricky to pair that because it's so distinct and it's also a bit touchy. Like it's kind of bitter. It's a little astringent. You also don't want to mask the flavor too much. But
okay, is this the Puer we're using?
That's the Puer.
All right.
Is that enough? I can pour some more.
We may need more. I want to do at least equal parts. Well, yeah, I think equal parts would be good.
Of Puer to Vermouth?
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start out with that. These little bottles are so funny.
That was a good call to get a few of them.
Yeah, I don't know how much is in them. They're just about 2 ounces. Dude, I still can't get over how well that Professor's Pickled Fashion.
Phenomenal.
Fuck, dude.
Dude, new cocktail unlocked.
That is a really good one.
That was great. I love that.
You want to do another one after this?
I would love to.
We got our Pina Colada out of the way. That's all I was looking forward to.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right, so throwing. I can't.
Hold on.
I do not have space to do it on camera.
I know. Hold on. All right. Tossing.
All right, so you start out small.
Whoa! Let's go. And you go bigger. Holy shit. This man.
Cut it. Boom. So what this is doing, it's chilling and adding air into it.
Hold on, I'm trying to get. I can't get yours too.
Yeah, don't move mine. It's fine.
Wow. So you're just aerating the whole deal.
It's chilling and aerating it. So
chilling
now,
and aerating.
what we're going to do, you can turn that back. I'm going to grab the glass.
Sick.
Yeah, so any astringent ingredients or like
Right.
so that's
The
called
tannins. That's aerating.
well, that's called throwing, yeah, and it's also called rolling. And so not like what you do at your music festivals, but different kind of rolling. And so yeah, what it does is it creates all that air. So any like hyper astringent or thick viscous ingredients, astringent or viscous, I think throwing is a great method to use to like really subtle and make it more palatable.
I see you got one glass there.
Yeah, I ran out of chilled glasses.
That's cool.
We have
we'll share
some
this one.
dishes. Yeah, we're gonna have to share. We have some dishes to clean.
That's cool.
That's right to the
And then do a little. So it's literally 2 ingredients there, right?
Yeah,
And
I
then-
think that's beautiful. So if you look at like a Garibaldi is Campari and orange juice. If you look at a rum and Coke, it's rum and Coke.
True. All the classic drinks: gin and tonic, rum and coke.
Exactly.
Right.
So like a highball is spirit and soda. Very simple. I think there's such beauty in just finding 2 ingredients and just making them blend and creating something so balanced and palatable and subtle. So when you have like a cocktail that has like 12 ingredients, I'm usually not that impressed. Like it's great. I appreciate it and I understand what it is. But when you can create something that's 2 ingredients, it's absolutely.
I feel like anyone can make 12 ingredients blend, but it's a lot harder to take 2 ingredients and have them.
Yeah, and that's like really the beauty. It's almost like when the key fits. Like if you ever have like a ring of keys, you finally find one that fits, and it's like it unlocks it.
True.
And just there's something super beautiful about that to me. Dude, fuck you. Get fucked. That is
wild. Wild.
It'd actually be better with an orange zest and not lemon.
Dude, it's like, okay, listen to this. This is gonna be far out there. You're gonna switch it up. So here's what that made me think of. So do you know those optical illusions? I'm gonna wait till you're done because I actually need you to think about this.
Okay.
You know those optical illusions where if you look at it one way, it looks like a lady, a woman looking this way, and if you look at it a little bit longer, it looks like a mountain.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
This cocktail feels like an optical illusion of sweet vermouth and ripe puer. Like when I drank it, at one instant, I felt like it was puer, and then at the second instant, like immediately, my brain switched it into sweet vermouth.
Dude, I actually.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it was an optical, like the way, like the blending, like how, like they went to balanced out. They went. It was like my brain literally would flip completely from one back to the other. Like it was unable to distinguish like which one is which, and like, but it tasted both completely fully.
I was to say, which is great because I think that's like that's kind of the goal we were trying to accomplish. It's an expression of both flavors that we have in there. It's 2 components and both flavors, and both those components are very well expressed.
Oh my god, I love that. Oh, yes.
I told you right away. Like as soon as I tasted it, I was like, I really don't know what the fuck to do with this, and I think I overthought it instead of just keeping it simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, just add sweet vermouth to it. It's fucking delicious. It's so good. And like I said, throwing it. I think if you stir it, shaking it is obviously a no-go. Like shaking it is a hard no.
Yeah, you can taste it's a lot more aerated.
Yeah, it's not so astringent.
Both liquors, both soups are really thick and soupy and sappy and thick.
Yeah.
And this tastes light on the palate.
Yeah.
Like this tastes nice.
It has that martini type of body where it's actually crisp. It's actually light.
Yeah, exactly. Like the body is crisp. Like both the puer and the sweet vermouth, the flavor is phenomenal, but the body, the texture of it, both of them are a little bit overbearing in terms of their thickness.
Yeah, they're 3 C's thick.
Right?
Yeah.
Thick with 3 C's.
They're 3 C's thick.
And a Q.
and a Q. That's a dummy thick.
Right?
All right.
Dumb thick. But this, like, with the, what do you call it? What did you call it? It's long pour?
Throwing.
With the throwing.
Or rolling.
It aerates it completely, and it makes it like takes that whole potential problem out
Yeah,
of
I get a lot of hate on my martini videos. If I ever throw a martini, I had a couple on my TikTok. People are like, "Oh, never throw a martini. Too much air, too much solution." Nah, get fucked. Like, it depends how much vermouth you have in there. Like, so dry vermouth can be very astringent. So if you have a wet martini, if you have a 50-50 martini, I like to throw them just to take out that astringency in it.
Yeah, and like if you're ever gonna throw a cocktail, a sweet vermouth ripe puer is the one to throw, right?
Dude, the chocolate notes, I think a little touch of chocolate bitters, one dash of chocolate bitters, I think would just fucking level that out.
I honestly want to do a tiny dash of extra puer in there.
Yeah, load it up, man. Dude, this is really good, though.
Yeah, it is good. It is perfect. It is good.
You know what? I'm happy we did this.
I'm happy we did this too.
I'm happy we did this.
I'm happy we did this too. Can I toss a tiny bit of puer in there?
Dude, toss your poo in there.
A little bit of that. Just to dilute it. See if we get a replicated effect like with the old
I
fashioned.
was about to say, that's what you're aiming for.
Whoa. Not quite the same. Completely different, but not necessarily better in any fashion. Probably decrease in quality a little bit.
I like that less.
Yeah, I like it less.
I like it less because you don't get as much alcohol. And I think the alcohol was extremely well balanced there. Remember, sugar, acid, alcohol. The alcohol was extremely well balanced in there, as well as the sugar and acid. And I don't think this is bad, but the biggest thing it did was drop the temperature.
Yeah.
If this was chilled and cold, you'd be fine. But adding the hot in there,
the lukewarm cocktail, no.
It makes me want to throw up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're gonna close out the live stream. Thank you all for watching. Blow some kisses. Make some tea infused cocktails of your own. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I gotta close mine out.
And stream end. All right.